Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Nadia Munla. I'm an embodiment and intimacy coach, and today I want to talk a little bit about the simplicity that comes with wisdom. So I'm going to tell you a little story. So when I first got into the personal development space, I was really inundated with so many prescriptions and formulas and like to-dos, like wake up at 5 a.m., you're gonna just drop into an ice bath and then Wim Hof your way through the morning and then meditate for 2 hours on a cushion and then do this and then do that and then green juice and then all the things and then MCT oil and oh my God, it was crazy. And I tried all these different things out. I tried a very short morning routine, a very long morning routine, an evening routine, no evening routine, a midday routine, like all the things. And ultimately just found myself after years and years of trying different things, finding myself looping back to, it's not exactly looping back to the beginning. It's sort of like if you're looking at it like a diagram, it's like, okay, so you start here and you're sort of in a deeper layer of that circle. So it's like a spiraling in is how I like to think about it. But I really found myself back to the place where I was essentially doing the same things that I started doing when I first got into the coaching space in the first place. And that was I would just sit and have my morning cup of coffee. That's it. The difference is I would have my morning coffee in a very different way. Back in the day when I was living in New York and still a producer and doing all the things, and I worked, 14, 16-hour days, I would wake up and I would already be like churning through my to-do list and already starting email, and while I'm on the phone, doing all the things. And now my cup of coffee is literally just my cup of coffee. I often try to have my phone somewhere far away. If I have access to a garden or nature, I will sit outside. And I usually just sit in quiet. And I sit and feel myself. I check in with my heart. How am I doing today? I feel into my senses, the taste of the coffee, the sound of perhaps birds chirping around me. Feeling that my body is craving, what touch do I want? Any scents that might be swirling around me, usually coffee is one of them. And I also just look around at my space and I just take in colors, I take in textures, right? And this experience, this routine, so to speak, is one that to me is simple but profound. And the reason it is so is because it is a way that I get in contact, really truly communicate with my body, with my heart, with my inner little girl at the beginning of the day, to lay a foundation of peace, of solidity, of teamwork, and allyship from the very beginning of the day, right? And so I do that, and then if the chaos of the day starts to take over, I've got my solid ground at the beginning of the day. As a side note, caffeine doesn't really do what it does to other people. I come from a culture that has drank a ton of caffeine over the years, and so I understand that for you, it might be replacing it with matcha or a nice decaf, like an herbal tea, right? So there isn't one way to do this, but the idea is to drop into quiet and to drop into feeling instead of just shoving in a bunch of doing at the beginning of the day, because there's going to be enough doing throughout the day. Come on, we all know there's going to be enough doing in this day and age, right? And what I've come to notice is, the older we get, the wiser we get, the more we really just let go of all the excess and come back to the one or two fundamental potent practices that really help us connect to ourselves. Because once you're connected to yourself, once you know yourself, once you create space to always feel yourself, everything else works out just fine. You figure it out because you have that allyship with your body. You have that parenting, that self-parenting that you're doing with your inner little girl, and you have that baseline of resourcefulness that you have created for yourself throughout the day. So if you're finding yourself just all over the place in the morning trying to shove in 16 different morning routines, see what it's like to go the exact opposite route and let me know how it feels.